As our story opens, Tom Watson, the local Avery dealer, is calling on Frank Lawton and his wife. Been there some time, in fact, telling them about the Avery True Draft tractor outfit. Frank seems to have gotten pretty interested. Let's listen in.
Well, Tom, of course we all know that if an implement is going to work right, it's got to be hitched right. But tell me, how does what you call true draft make your outfit any better than the others?
I'm glad you asked that, Frank. You know, true draft didn't just happen, and it isn't just a trick advertising phrase. The name True Draft explains just what the B.F. Avery outfit is. Many years ago, our people realized that in power farming, it was the plow, the planter, and the cultivator that did the work. All the tractor did was pull. But our people saw that as yet no tractor had been designed which would allow these implements to work right.
Well, why not?
Because power farming manufacturers built the tractor first, Frank. And then, without regard to how it would affect their work, they built the implements to fit the tractor. Well, we were sure that this was going after building power farming equipment the wrong way. Avery knew that in order to design the right plow, the right planter, and the right cultivator, these implements had to be designed to fit the job they are built to do, and not designed to fit a tractor. And Avery knew, too, that the most practical power farming outfit was one that would plant and cultivate 2 rows, and big enough to bed or prepare all the land it would plant and cultivate. It should do the year-round job of farming at a lower cost, and the first cost should be within the farmer's reach. After these specifications were set up, Avery built the implements. And only after these implements were built and proved did Avery design a tractor of the size, type, and power to pull these implements most efficiently. So instead of building a tractor and then building implements to fit it, Avery determined the things farmers wanted their implements to do, built implements that would do the farmer's job, and then built a tractor of the size, type, and power to pull these correct implements most efficiently. In other words, Frank, the implements set up the specifications for the tractor. It was this thinking, this procedure, that made possible True Draft. Now, to explain clearly just what True Draft means, I've got a talking picture here I'd like to show you.
A picture show, eh?
Well, this will show you clearly in just a few minutes what it would take me quite a while to explain.
Well, that's quite an idea.
After seeing this picture, you'll see how simple but fundamental True Draft is. And the film explains it much better than I do.
Well, let's see it.
All right, we're all set up. I'll turn out the lights and let you see and hear the whole story.
Know the truth. Man does not invent or create. He merely learns truths that have always existed. Man discovered the first tillage implement when thousands of years ago he picked up a stick and scratched with it. But centuries later, another man got hold of a crooked stick and discovered the truth about tillage implements. He could pull a crooked stick more easily. He could do more and better work. This was the discovery of the True Draft principle. Man has never found an improvement on it. Man learned how to harness power and use a handle to guide and direct the crooked stick. But the True Draft principle was still the same. Man learned how to build a plow, but the basic principle on which it works is still the same as the crooked stick. The True Draft principle hasn't changed. But when man started attaching implements to a tractor, he violated the principle of True Draft. The principle handed down since the time of the man with the crooked stick. He built the tractor first. Some tractors he built are too low, some too high, and some too short. It's impossible to get True Draft implements on them. For example, instead of allowing the implements to follow their natural draft lines, he fastens them to the tractor. When the tractor goes up and down, the implements go up and down with it, causing them to work at uneven depth. Because of the tractor design, gauge wheels are necessary to hold implements up to try to control depth. It's only because he violates true draft lines that gauge wheels are necessary. He uses short cultivator gangs and hold-down springs. Only because he violates true draft lines are hold-down springs necessary. He uses short gangs with parallel rods, thinking these hold the gangs parallel to the ground. But actually, they hold them parallel to the tractor, and that's a different matter. Instead of building it all in front, in plain sight, he puts part of the implement in front and part in back. All these true draft violations are necessary because the tractors were not made to fit true draft implements, so they didn't put true draft implements on them. What's more, they all waste power, fuel. They lower the quality of work and make the implements hard to adjust. When Avery started to design the true draft tractor outfit, they stuck to fundamentals. Avery knew that the implements do the work, and implements operating on true draft lines do the best work. Before they did anything about the tractor, Avery designed the implements. After making these true draft implements, Avery engineers laid out a tractor of the size, type, and power to pull these implements most efficiently, and to allow each of them to operate on true draft lines. The implements determined the specifications for the tractor. From first to last, this outfit was designed from the standpoint of the work to be done. After Avery determined the specifications for a tractor that would fit these true draft implements, they went to one of the leading tractor manufacturers in America, the Cleveland Tractor Company. The Cleveland organization clearly saw the value of such an outfit and built the General to meet these specifications. First, a tractor with enough power to pull the implements most efficiently. Second, a tractor long enough for true draft implements without the necessity of hold-down springs or hold-up wheels, or part in front and part in back. Third, one high enough to get true draft implements under it. Fourth, one narrow enough to give good vision, open, so you can watch the work that's being done. And fifth, one with a frame around it so that each implement can be attached in its true draft line. Add up all these specifications, and here is the result. The B.F. Avery True Draft outfit. Here is a unit which is the right size for farming. It does a farmer's work the way he wants it done, at the lowest possible operating costs, at a price he can afford to pay. It is not only the right size for farming, it is completely true draft.
Tom, it looks like you've got something there.
Yes, that's what everybody says. But that's not all. Just wait until I turn the record and you see the rest of the picture.
Each true draft implement works free of the tractor with a single pivotal hitch point so located that the implement maintains the desired depth. But what about the hitch point? You know that on plows or middle bursters that are not held up or forced down, the depth is controlled by the hitch point, and a rigid hitch point goes up and down with the tractor. Any field has thousands of surface variations which make the tractor go up and down all the time. So to plow at a uniform depth, there must be some means of controlling the hitch point to keep it from going up and down with the tractor. Now, for the first time, Avery makes this possible. The Avery True Draft outfit automatically controls the hitch point so that the implements maintain their proper depth regardless of the up and down motion of the tractor. This new exclusive Avery automatic hitch control is the greatest advancement in power farming since the advent of the tractor. This control enables the tractor to pull a greater load than ever before. This control enables the tractor to do the same amount of work with less fuel. This control maintains a plow at a more uniform depth than was ever possible before with any plow. This control makes this by far the easiest outfit to handle. The need for hand adjustments to control depth when in operation is practically eliminated. With this automatic hitch control, the plow doesn't run shallower when the tractor wheels go over a hump. When the tractor goes up, the hitch automatically adjusts itself to maintain the plow at a constant depth. Nor does the plow run deeper when the tractor wheels run into a depression. As the tractor goes down, This hitch again automatically adjusts itself to maintain the plow at a constant depth. This hitch makes thousands of minor adjustments constantly and instantly, and is making them all the time. Thus, the plow maintains a uniform depth regardless of conditions of the soil or unevenness of the ground. It's just like a car. Actually, you don't drive in a straight line. You keep turning the steering wheel slightly one way or the other, constantly correcting the direction of the car. In the same way, the hitch point in the true draft outfit is automatically controlled, constantly compensating for the up and down motion of the tractor to keep the plow at a perfectly even depth. In the true draft outfit, the automatic hitch control adjusts itself to let the tractor go up and down over the variations of the soil. By this constant, quick control, you do a uniform, even job that you could never do before. Because it operates at a uniform depth, it maintains a uniform load on the tractor. Thus, it not only does better, more uniform work, but it saves fuel. This is the story of True Draft, the greatest advancement ever made to power farming.
Get you to do your work with less labor than ever before. True Draft means faster work. With this B.F. Avery True Draft outfit, you get a bigger job of plowing done in a day. And you do all your other jobs faster, too. You'll get your work done at a lower cost. True Draft means light draft. No power wasted by gauge wheels, hold-down springs, or complicated gadgets that get out of order. You see, in the Avery outfit, you get complete True Draft operation. You are obeying the law of draft lines, which is as fundamental and unchangeable as the law of gravity. Frank, this is the only outfit that gives the farmer what he wants in the greatest possible measure. Because the Avery outfit is the only outfit completely True Draft.
B.F. Avery and Sons Company presents The Gang Plow. Here, for the first time in power farming history, is a two-bottom, direct-attached gang plow that operates in its true line of draft. Here, for the first time, is a gang plow that maintains a uniform depth, unaffected by the thousands of surface variations of the field, and does it automatically. Here's a plow on which you don't have to constantly make adjustments for hard or soft soil, for sod or loose ground, for clay or loam. Here, for the first time, is a plow completely free from wheels and boxes, free from axles, gauges, and supports, free from cumbersome hydraulic or mechanical lifts. Here's the only plow that will give you a full dollar's worth of plowing for every dollar's worth of gasoline. And what makes all these things possible? True Draft, the way it is pulled. Avery's direct-attached plow is the only tractor plow in America that works in its true line of draft. Now, we all know that if a plow is to run free and at its lightest load, its depth must be regulated only from the front end of the beam so that it can work in its true line of draft. When the depth of the plow is controlled by wheels, hold-up rods, or by any means other than from the front end of the beam, it pulls harder and takes more power. Avery engineers realize that if you are to get a dollar's worth of plowing for every dollar's worth of gasoline, all wheels, hold-up rods or chains, and other mechanical means to control depth had to be eliminated. There was only one way this could be done, and that was to attach the plow only at the front end of the beam, so it can work free of the tractor and work freely in its true line of draft. Now, for the first time in power farming history, there's a two-bottom, direct-attached gang plow that's attached to the tractor in just that way. As this straight edge shows, there is no such thing as a perfectly smooth field. And because of this, the hitch point must be flexible and so controlled that it won't raise and lower as the tractor goes up and down over the continuous irregularities of the field. So to meet this condition, Avery engineers developed something entirely new and exclusive, the true draft automatic hitch control. This automatic hitch control means that in every field, regardless of the constant up and down motion of the tractor, the Avery gang plow always works at a uniform depth and always works in the true line of draft. Because of this, it isn't constantly lifting the plow through the soil. It pulls with a lighter draft and does more work for every gallon of gasoline than you've ever done before. This is the easiest plow to operate that you've ever handled. A single lever within easy reach of the driver raises and lowers the plow and sets it for depth. When you lower the front of the beam with this lever, the plow enters the ground point first, automatically leveling out at the depth you've set it for. The automatic hitch control then maintains it at that depth. When you release the lever, the pull of the tractor raises the front end of the beam. The plow runs out of the ground point first, as shown in this view with the land dug away, eliminating the need for expensive, troublesome power lift. The tractor, not you, does the lifting. What's more, with this plow, you can easily change depth while you're in motion. When you set it for the depth you want, the automatic hitch control maintains it constantly at that depth. And while the outfit is working, this rear bale always floats completely free of the tractor. This plow is easily transported to and from the field. The bottoms raise high to give plenty of clearance beneath, and it takes very little space to store. Why, it's no trick at all to put it on or take it off the tractor. Just an easy one-man job. With the Avery outfit, you can plow the entire field, starting right from the fence corners. You can work your tight places and plow point lands without running onto the plowed ground. Avery has bottoms especially built to turn your soil exactly the way you want it done, with heavy steel frogs, wear-resisting shares and mold boards, and extremely rugged and durable construction throughout. Avery also offers a one-bottom plow and a two-way plow, each incorporating all the features found in the gang plow. From any angle you want to judge it, here's the greatest plow developed since the advent of the tractor. Here for the first time is a true draft direct attached gang plow, and only Avery offers it. Here's a plow that, regardless of soil and surface conditions, always operates at a uniform depth. Here for the first time is a plow that gives you a full dollar's worth of plowing for every dollar's worth of gasoline, because it always works on the true line of draft.
Avery and Sons Company presents the two-row lister. Here, for the first time in power farming history, is a two-row lister that operates in its true line of draft. Here, for the first time, is a lister that maintains a uniform depth, unaffected by the thousands of surface variations of the field, and does it automatically. Here's a lister on which you don't have to constantly make adjustments for hard or soft soil, black, clay, or loam. Here, for the first time, is a two-row lister which works entirely free of the tractor, and each bottom works independently of the other and maintains its correct depth. Here, for the first time, is a lister completely free from wheels and boxes, free from axles, gauges, and supports,
from cumbersome hydraulic or mechanical lifts. Here's the only lister that will give you a full dollar's worth of work for every dollar's worth of gasoline. And what makes all these things possible? True draft, the way it is pulled. Avery's two-row lister works in its true line of draft. We all know that if a lister is to run free and at its lightest load, its depth must be regulated only from the front end of the beam so that it can work in its true line of draft. When the depth of the lister is controlled by wheels, hold-up rods, or chains, or by any means other than from the front end of the beam, it pulls harder, takes more power. Avery engineers realize that if you are to get a dollar's worth of work for every dollar's worth of gasoline, all wheels, hold-up rods, or chains, and other mechanical means to control depth had to be eliminated. There was only one way this could be done, and that was to attach the listers only at the front end of the beam, so they can work free of the tractor and work freely in their true line of draft. For the first time in power farming history, here is a two-row lister that is attached to the tractor in just that way. Avery engineers took into consideration the fact that there is no such thing as a perfectly smooth field, as is clearly shown by this straight edge. And because of this, the hitch point must be flexible and so controlled that it won't raise and lower as the tractor goes up and down over the continuous irregularities of the field. So, to meet this condition, Avery engineers developed something entirely new and exclusive, the true draft automatic hitch control. This automatic hitch control means that in every field, regardless of the constant up and down motion of the tractor, the Avery lister always works at a uniform depth and always works in the true line of draft. Because of this, the tractor isn't constantly lifting the lister through the soil. It pulls with a lighter draft and does more work for every gallon of gasoline than you've ever done before. This is the easiest two-row lister you've ever handled. A single lever within easy reach of the driver raises and lowers the listers and sets them for depth. Long double-heel slides steady the lister bottoms like a landslide does a plow. When you lower the front ends of the beams with this lever, the bottoms enter the ground point first, automatically seeking the depth for which you've set them. The automatic hitch control then maintains them at that depth. When you release the lever, the pull of the tractor raises the front ends of the beams. The bottoms run out of the ground point first, eliminating the need for expensive, troublesome power lifts. The tractor, not you, does the lifting. What's more, with this two-row lister, you can easily change the depth of either bottom while you're in motion. When you set it for the depth you want, the automatic hitch control maintains it constantly at that depth. This two-row lister is easily transported to and from the field. The bottoms raise high to give plenty of clearance beneath, and it takes very little space to store. It's no trick at all to put it on or take it off the tractor. Just an easy one-man job. Strong rear bales hold the bottoms evenly spaced sideways, and while the outfit is working, they always float completely free of the tractor. And here's the planter attachment, with hoppers mounted onto the tractor in plain view. You can see inside your hoppers, and you can watch the work they're doing at all times. Each hopper is independently operated by drive chains from the tractor wheels. With your Avery outfit, you can get a type of hopper that will do your planting exactly the way you want it done. Hoppers that will plant any number of seeds any way you want to plant them. A heavy steel boot or seed spout is easily adjusted to the depth you want. A subsoil opener attached to the boot opens the furrow for the seed. Covering shovels or discs are also adjustable to cover the seed in exactly the way you want it done. When the planter is raised, the hoppers are automatically tipped back out of gear, eliminating the necessity of a clutch. With these specially designed sweeps with heel slides, your lister has all the true draft advantages when bedding with sweeps or planting on beds. When you strike obstructions, a friction foot piece releases, allowing the bottom to tip back. The subsoiler and coverers also tip back automatically and independently of the bottom. From any angle you want to judge it, here's the greatest lister developed since the advent of the tractor. Here for the first time is a true draft two-row lister. Here's a two-row lister that, regardless of soil and surface conditions, always operates at a uniform depth. Here for the first time is a lister that gives you a full dollar's worth of work for every dollar's worth of gasoline, because it always works on the true line of draft.
For information purposes, this is the kit that was purchased from somewhere in Texas that this video has been made from. These records measure 16 inches in diameter and play at 33 1/3 RPM. A special record player had to be modified in order to play 16-inch records. The largest normal record made is a